Hey everybody, it's Thomas. Let's talk about Blood Bowl League of Blood Bowl. We just wrapped up week 6, and we're going to talk about what happened. We're going to talk about what's going to happen in week 7, and all that great stuff. Some team management with me. Betty's Machetes got 3 SPP. We'll talk about what happened to that, but slowly but surely. I wish he had more, because I really want to get Mighty Blow. Or, fingers crossed, block. Maybe the Devil's Luck will land on Thomas. But yeah, hopefully Mighty Blow or block will be coming pretty soon. Other things. Where'd it go? Oh, Miles of Vials hit level 2 thanks to some sweet, tasty vanity passing, which means more block. So I've got 2 Frenzy Block Pit Fighter Cultists, which is actually a really huge deal. I can now throw blocks much more reliably with these pieces, especially 2-die blocks. 2-die blocks with an all-frenzy team, well, almost all-frenzy team, is pretty scary because just the odds of getting bad results is really high. So yeah, I'm pretty happy to have 2 pieces with block. What I do with them is kind of up for debate. There are a fair number of people that will probably get some dodge, so they might get tackle. Dauntless, also something worth considering. Because block Dauntless with Frenzy is a pretty good combination. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how fancy I'm feeling. We'll see how much guard I end up fielding. There's a lot to be decided as the team progresses. Also got a level up on Stickers for Men. Stickers for Men got the needed 3 SPP to hit level 3. So now I've got 2 Blard pieces, which is what I'm calling block and guard. It's really boring. I know. I said when I started this league that I started this season, I should say, that my Horn Heralds are going to be pretty boring, and pretty much everybody on my team is going to be pretty boring because with Frenzy, boring is good. Boring is really good. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's see here. Anything else happen? No, not really. Just wire hangers. Those got 0 SPP. I don't think either of these guys got anything, but that's fine. They don't have to. Things for the future. I want to buy Bloodletter Daemon number 4, but my team value is pretty high. Like, I've got the money for it, but I don't know if I'm ready to make the jump to 1520, because that's a pretty big jump. We'll see. It's going to happen eventually, but I think I might hold off a week. I'd like having the cushion to replace a Herald if I need to, or knock on wood, a Bloodthirster. We'll see what happens. I mean, terrible things can happen to this team at any given moment. I've been pretty lucky. Speaking of terrible things happening, or not happening, getting lucky, let's talk about what happened in the game. I played against Orville this week. Rolled 90k after re-rolling a 60. You can watch this game up here, as always. Kind of a weird game for me. No casualties on my side. Orville did kill one of my Bloodletter Daemons, the 0 SPP one. Good old yes wire hangers. But thanks to regen, I survived, so that's good. I still took a casualty though, so I got outpunched again. But still, 2 touchdowns, a pass, and an MVP. It's not great, but I'll take what I can get. 12 SPP is a pretty solid number. I mean, I've said this to a couple of people, but if I can get 10 to 15 SPP every single week without too many losses, I'll be in really good shape. I can't complain. Orville did okay. He got 10 SPP himself, which, considering how outforced he was, not too bad. Game itself, Orville received the ball and rushed a touchdown on turn 2, and then a Riot pushed it back, so I had a full 8 turns to kind of just cruise my way to the touchdown. Thanks to a touchback, it went to Betty's Machetes, and she was a very well-behaved bloodthirster, I guess is the best way to put it. Yeah, not too much beyond that. It was pretty much a straightforward 2-1 grind. He scored early, and then I was able to just take my time. Really disappointed I didn't break enough armor to get injuries, but I'll take what I can get. And 90k too. Definitely happy about that. Team's in really good shape. Pretty pumped. Let's take a look at what Orville got, because Orville actually got a couple things here. He got 20k, so not that much, honestly, in money. And I thought he had another level up, but I guess he didn't. His Blitzer leveled up, though, so that's good. He took block on the former mercenary lineman, Well, 20 it's not great, but it is enough to buy Blitzer number 3, which I think is absolutely huge. And I was talking to him about this too. I don't know if he wants to save up for reroll number 3 instead before buying Blitzer number 4. I mean, honestly, he could buy reroll number 3 now. I don't know. I feel like the Blitzer adds more, but it's certainly a decision worth making. Rerolls are really good, and technically they'll add less team value, so he's got some choices. I don't know. The Blitzers need so much, and they're really huge portions of the team, so I feel like getting them early is a good thing. And adding more block on this team would not hurt whatsoever. Really surprised I didn't get Wrestle here, but it's fine. Let's take a look at the other weeks, or other matches this week. We've got Skaven versus Undead here. I haven't watched this game fully. I watched a little bit of it. Mark and I are going to do a cast of it. We haven't recorded it yet, but it'll be up here when we do have the video for it. Weird game, from what I could tell. Lots of hitting going back and forth. Skaven hitting pretty hard. And not that throwing that hard, actually. Lots of running. I'm guessing a gutter runner moved around and did things. 40k for Jessup here. Walks away with MVP, 2 touchdowns, a casualty, and a pass. So pretty good, all things considered. 14 SPP for the week. Zach gets a touchdown, MVP, and a casualty. So not too bad. 10 is not great, but it's okay. Lots of hitting without too much in the way of armor damage. So cool. Looks like we had a failed tackle or GFI result in some injuries, or it might have been a surf. Either way, all about it. Man, Zach got KO'd a lot. I know there was a pretty big pitch invasion at the beginning of the game, so that could have dictated some of it. Let's take a look here. Oh, the Rat Ogre is out next week with -1 agility, which means nothing, because I think he had 1 to begin with. Maybe he had 2. Either way, minus agility means nothing to the Rat Ogre beyond it's going to miss a game. From what I saw, too, I think just maybe regretting not getting block, but whatever. Other levels up. Gutter Runner here. Boulder Dash 2 is almost to level 3, which is, I mean, they're Gutter Runners. It's going to happen pretty quickly anyway. Got the MVP, which seems to be the biggest part of it, or the biggest jump here. Block. I mean, you might as well protect your only Gutter Runner. Although that said, he can now afford another one, which he should absolutely get. 2 lineman levels up too, which is pretty key. Probably want to get Wrestle or Block on here. Fend wouldn't be too bad either, but the team is fast enough that I think maybe Wrestle or Block is probably what you want to get instead. Obviously, double roll should go towards guard. Team needs all the guard it can get, basically, especially because he delayed. He's going full murder with the Storm Vermins. I just think that's a safer call. No other big changes here. I think he gained a fan factor. Great. Excuse me. The Rat Ogre missing next week is pretty big for whoever Jessup plays. We'll talk about that, obviously, as we get forward, though. Let's take a look at Zach's team. Zach went with 60k, so pretty good for him. Not that he really needs the money for much of anything. Broken Neck White. He got Tackle on both Whites, which I don't like. I mean, Tackle's pretty good, but Guard would just do so much more for this team. Minus agility is actually kind of a problem for the White, because part of the reason why the Whites are so good is the 3 agility lets them move the ball, lets them dodge sometimes. It just is a really big weakness, and probably my favorite outcome of all of this is Meter Maid got the MVP. That is his 4th MVP. He hasn't done anything else. He KO'd somebody, I guess. That's pretty good. So yeah, what to get on your Dirty Player Skeleton? I don't have a good answer there. Block, maybe. Maybe he'll get lucky and get doubles, and then he can get sneaky get, and then he can foul all the time. Yeah, boy, not a lot of good options for this poor little skeleton. Block is probably the best outcome, just because Block lets him be more useful when he's not stepping on people, or just gives him more protection. Both of those things are good. I don't know. God, it's not. You don't want your dirty player to get this far ahead. That's the bad sign. But hey, maybe he'll be a lot safer now. Whatever. We'll find out. No other progressions from Zach this week, although both ghouls down here now at 3 SPP, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, Zach just needs more SPP than he's getting. He's getting there, but he needs more. Missing the white next week is going to hurt as well. Might be worth considering hiring some more filler pieces, but maybe not. He'll be back. He'll still be 11 players, so whatever. All right, let's keep looking here. Andrew versus Chris here. Chris had a bad week is the safest way to say that. Andrew hit hard and did a lot of damage. 7 casualties and our death of the week, although this is on a loner, so maybe it doesn't count quite as hard, but still, Andrew gets our kill for the week, because apparently we can't have a week without a death. End roll is 70k, which is pretty great. Absolutely fantastic week for Andrew. He's needed something like this for a long time. 7 casualties, touchdown, a pass, MVP. I mean, this is like a dream come true. It's 23 SPP. That's a huge number. Just huge. Absolutely huge. Chris, another week of just getting the MVP. I mean, he had a lot of loners. There's only so much he could do. But it did not go well for him. He just got out hit pretty hard. So changes on the team here. This Hobgoblin got Kick, which is pretty cool. I like Kick. And then got level 3 as well. So took Wrestle. I think this is really huge. Kick Wrestle is a great combination on any lineman, really, because Kick means you're going to be on the defense. Wrestle is a great defensive skill just in general. It's really useful at all times. This Hobgoblin got Sure Hands. This is the other level up he got, so that's cool. Also got a level up here on one of these Castorf blockers. Whichever one didn't have guard before now has guard, which is great. These guys are going to get scarier and scarier. He could probably on the next one get a Mighty Blow piece, although certainly going more guard is never going to be a bad thing. He has both Bow Sluntars back for this week, and he has a Minotaur he just bought, so good times to be had with that guy. Bumps his team value up quite a bit, but I think it's a good trade, to say the least. Let's look at Chris's poor begotten team. I mean, he's only missing 3 this week, and they're dismissed next game, so that's not too bad. He's got all 4 vampires back, although he's still going to have 2 loners because he rolled 20, which is not great. That's pretty bad. I mean, he's going to have all 3 of his block guys back, all 4 of his block guys back. He's going to have... I don't know. This team needs, like Zach, even more desperately, though, needs a lot more than it's getting. Didn't lose Fan Factor this week, so that's good. His vampires just need to behave themselves, I guess, a little bit better. More thralls will help. We'll see. It's still early enough, though, that this team can recover. There's more than the 6 games we played remaining in just this kind of big round robin stage. So there's plenty of time. And, he's getting there slowly but surely. As long as he plays careful, he should be okay. But not in a great spot, to say the least. A lot of his MVPs going to Thralls is not helping his case either, although when you miss 2 of your vampires, the odds are pretty good it's going to go to a Thrall, no matter what you do. Week 6 here, other game here is Greyduck versus... Gray versus Mark here. This game is tragic for a couple of reasons. As you can see, they had a failed start here. This game was much closer, was much more interesting. This game kind of just didn't go Mark's way. He got behind and then kind of just ended up staying behind. 6 casualties for Greyduck. I mean, after all the weeks Mark's have had, he kind of had it coming, but 6 is a lot. 6 is a lot more than one can reasonably expect to absorb. Yeah, not a great week for Mark. And kind of tragic, just because the game that didn't get disconnected, or the game that got disconnected, was a lot closer. Greyduck, though, I mean, she played well. She played clean. She forced her way down the middle. But it was pretty much a straightforward game. I mean, there were some big plays made to disrupt some stuff, but it was all kind of futile in the grand scheme of things. Greg managed to squeeze out the 1-0 victory. Got a pass in there as well. 6 casualties, 1 pass, MVP, and a touchdown. Yeah, that's pretty good. 21 SPP is a pretty good thing. Mark still walks away with 9, so not the end of the world. But not great, and we'll talk about that when we look at Mark's team here. But level up on the Minotaur, which is huge, and more fan factor. I guess lots of choices. Guard, probably the one I would lean towards. I believe she got her doubles, though, from what she was telling me, in which case, doubles for strength as well, in which case you skip the strength and you take block. Maybe if you get another doubles, you can think about it, but I would get block. 6 strength doesn't really do that much, even with horns. Yes, it lets you bully against support more, but with horns, you can already kind of deal with that. Beastman gets leveled up 2 here. Lots of choices, obviously. I don't honestly lean towards getting Wrestle. She needs to start building a ball removal piece or ball extracting piece, and Wrestle is a good skill to do that. Wrestle Strip Ball is a great combination. And there's still basically no sure hands in the league outside of Jessup, so that's what I would lean towards doing. Yeah, let's take a look at Mark's team. Mark's got a lot of people missing. Missing Shirley, missing Abed. These are big losses. Niggling injury, at least. This is just a miss next game. But the real tragedy is Pierce. Pierce 1, as he used to be known, was Mark's Mighty Blow piling on piece. Level 3, was doing great, but minus strength right at the end really did him in. Mark ended up using the Apothecary early on the Yeti, like turn 1, I want to say. I don't know if I agree with it. I think it was just a miss next game or maybe a minus MA, and I think I would have just lived with those outcomes. Who can say? I mean, Britta didn't really behave. Britta the Pacifist Yeti, as I'm going to start calling her all the time, didn't really behave and didn't really hurt anybody. So it's hard to say. I mean, if she had done damage, she might have been useful to save early, but I don't know. Pierce was such a huge piece. But, I mean, this is what's going to happen to Mark as he gets further and further into the season. Just brutal. First time, I think, below 1100 since the season began, though, thanks to his really dominant week 1 performance. If anything, this kind of skews Mark back towards where everybody else was. But because it's Norse, he really needs to stay ahead of the curve. And he really wanted to use his winning money to buy another runner. He doesn't want to be replacing a Berserker, but that's the name of the game. It's Blood Bowl, everybody. Yeah, that wraps us up for the week. My predictions were not great. I was wrong here. I was right here. I was right here, and I was wrong here. It was almost a tie game, but it was denied for me. Let's take a quick look at the old rankings here. Gradic and I are at the top with 14 points. Mark down at 3rd here. Jessup closed in not too far behind with 9, and then a big pile up for the bottom 4. Not that it matters too much here. Someday Zach will get his win. I believe in you. Let's take a look at next week, though. Week 7, name of the game. We've got Undead versus Castorf. Pretty interesting match here. I'm pretty excited for this one. Lots of heavy hitting. The Whites not having guard is probably going to be the biggest problem. It's going to be kind of all about the mummies, honestly. Mummy punch is going to be huge. Dirty player might be able to remove some stuff. We will see. Assuming normal rolls, and he doesn't buy anybody. Let's see here. We've got... Yeah, he's got enough players. So, assuming he buys nobody. Looking at 1080. Compared to... Where did Andrew go? 1370, so 190 in inducement. Not a great amount. You kind of almost hope that... I don't know. Yeah, that's not great. It's a wizard, I guess, or rerolling a babe, or any number of things. 150 is kind of, you get one of something and a babe, or you get a wizard. So that's that. I mean, you could hire a mercenary white. I don't know if that's worth it, though. I mean, I think you can get, let's see, whites are, let's get into it. So whites are 90, so 9 plus 30 is 120, another 50. So he does have enough where he could get a mercenary white with guard. Wouldn't be too bad. That's really an option. But, I mean, Mercenaries, especially high-skilled mercenaries, will steal up SVP, so it might not be worth it. Arguments can be made that it's not SVP you would have anyway, but honestly don't know. I kind of think this game is going to be a tie. Andrew's got more mobility, kind of, and he has more armor, so we can fight harder. Minotaur can definitely bully a... I don't know what that was. It was loud, though. Minotaur can definitely bully mummies, but there are 2 mummies. We'll see. It could be interesting. We'll see how first possession goes, basically. Like many hitting on hitting matches, that'll probably be the decider. I think the armor value is probably going to help Andrew a little bit more, but we'll see if he has the speed to catch ghouls. Yeah, I'm going to say tie. I think tie is the safest bet. Orville goes up against Greyduck. Let's look at money here. Assuming normal rolls, and then he buys the Blitzer, which I think is the best course of action. Looking at 1230 totals versus Greyduck is sitting at 1280. So, assuming this is a doubles roll, we get 1330. So that's, what did I say for Orville? I'm falling apart. So that's, I mean, it's a reroll. That's not too bad. Going 3 rolls is pretty good. So cool. I don't know how this matchup is going to go. Greyduck doesn't quite have the tools to really stop a Dark Elf charge. That doesn't mean that she can't do it, but she's a lot slower than that team, but she's a lot stronger. The upside for Orville, I guess, is that Claw won't be doing as much, but ugh. I don't know. I think Greyduck's probably going to win this game. Orville could prove me wrong, certainly. Elf is magical, but I just think Greyduck's going to win. We've got Skaven versus Norse. Let's take a look at stuff getting away. Both these teams are actually kind of beat up, which kind of works out in their favor. Assuming normal rolls across the board here, we're looking at 990 for this up. Assuming he buys a Gutter Runner, 1070. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, 50 on top of that. So... I don't know. That's... I'm trying to think if he wanted to buy somebody else. Because he could buy 2 linemen and stuff, but I think he wants the Gutter Runner. So what did I say? 80, 20, or 80, 100, 140, plus another 50. So it's 190 more than that. So 1120, if my brain math is good this week. 1120 versus Mark's 1030, and he... Okay, he fired the minus strength lineman finally, which is good. 1130. So yeah, no money for anybody. It's really tough to say, honestly. I think the dirty player is going to be a big factor. The loss of the mighty blow pieces is probably going to be the biggest thing. But Mark can definitely win the out-hitting war if things go okay. They both have pretty much 7 armor value across the board, and the Rat Ogre being missing frees up a lot of things for Mark. I think catching the Gutter Runners is going to be hard, especially with the throwing being pretty much fully operational at this point. Could be a pretty close game. I think Jessup has the advantage here. The high mobility is really huge, and Mark is going to have a hard time stopping Gutter Runners. You get the 1 tackle piece, which is good, and Frenzy can make a lot of those problems go away anyway, but it's still pretty hard. It demands a lot. I mean, Mark could certainly crush everybody on that team pretty hard, but missing the mighty blow pieces is probably going to be a big factor. And then we've got me versus Chris. This is part of the reason why I didn't buy Blood Letter number 4, because I'm at 1440 now, and Chris is 1180 plus 2 more, so 1260. So, God, So yeah, right now I'm giving 180 away. A wizard would pretty much mess me up pretty hardcore. So I'm guessing that's what Chris is gonna get. Who knows? Maybe he'll get another reroll instead. Reroll and Babe wouldn't be too bad either, I guess. I don't know. I've got a pretty big advantage here. The 2 guard pieces is a pretty big deal. Strip ball is really good since I can reach him pretty easily. And both of our teams are just as fast as each other. So there's not really a lot of running away. The Bloodthirster is pretty good too. And Chris has actually got a fair number of ways to deal with the Bloodthirster thanks to the vampires, but said vampires have also been a big pain for him in the past, so we'll see. Considering they'll only have the kind of bare minimum 7 thralls, it's going to be a pretty hard game for Chris, I think, since it's not impossible for you to remove those thralls. I don't know. I just don't see how I lose this game. You might be able to force a tie out of me, but I think I win pretty handily. Still, Wizard is kind of the scary part. And that's part of the reason why I didn't let the Bloodletter name in, because as much as I love giving Chris more money, I don't think I'm going to do that. Let's say a quick perusal through Ye Old Hall of Fame. Most experienced player, still Abed. He's 3 SPP short of getting to level 4, which is pretty crazy. Kind of surprised about the number of players we have in shooting distance of level 4. Pretty crazy, honestly. Best scoring, the Dean, still number 1 with Stickers for Men tied for first as well. That's just how it goes, I guess. Best scoring, Hui is crushing this with 9 throws. I mean, one of the few finesse teams we have here. And Orville is having some pretty bad luck on getting his throws around. But even then, you probably won't see the concentration that you are for Jessup, just because with Dark Elf, you kind of, or any Elf team, you kind of want to spread who's throwing around just to farm SPP a little bit better. No new interceptions this week. Most violent players still Abed with 9. The Chaos Minotaur sitting pretty happy at 7 here, and everybody else is just kind of farther away. The Mummy here sitting at 4, which is pretty good, and everybody else kind of hanging around 3 and 2. Skaven actually on here quite a bit, which is kind of surprising, but what can you do? Best running here, Dean runs so far away, and I'm pretty happy to get shoved off of this table. Any other big changes? I mean, the gutter runner ran really far too, I guess. I was running for Orville, and that's I think part of it just that the large number of players can actually move the ball pretty effectively, so that's pretty cool. Best throwing, Ellen's throwing a lot of throws, but not throwing very far, which is fine. Just when the hand is... Oh no, sorry. Yeah, the same thing still applies. Throwing even shorter per throw than I thought he was. And Ellen is throwing a lot as well. This doesn't count completions though, so it's hard to say. Best killing, we're missing one here. I think that might be due to the fact that the death wasn't recorded, basically, because it was a loner. That's what I think anyway. Either way, we got 6 kills, which is kind of crazy. But all bunch of different people, so nobody's particularly good at it. Best receiver, Balderdash, 4 agility with a Skaven thrower attached to it. Not too surprising here. Everybody else is just kind of in the zone. I mean, almost all of these, except for like Demona here and RNAS, are probably, well, any of the clever Elven team name people. But pretty much everybody else is probably just SPP farming. The vampires probably not. So I guess just me and the Dean are the SPP farmers. All right. That about wraps us up for the week, if I can get the words out correctly. Quick recap of my predictions. I think tie game here. I think Greydick will win. I think that Jessup will win. And I think that I will win. So we'll see what happens. I've been really wrong all season, so hopefully it turns around. I wanted to take a quick look at the team value poke, just because everybody is getting kind of up there. I mean, I'm ahead right now, but I'm also not missing any players for the first time in a long time. So people are starting to buy their big guys finally. So things are getting pretty scary. But there's more. There's 8 more games of this stage of the season still. So there's still tons of time for things to get really shaken up. I mean, we're probably gonna end up being a lot closer together by the time this is over. So we'll see what happens. Cool. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll talk to you later.